Savannah, the Lidj, Yasu, Omowale, Emancipation Village, where, as you know, this morning we were outside the Treasury Office for reenactment of the Proclamation of Emancipation. This afternoon at the Queen's Park Savannah, we have a packed program of cultural presentations from groups from around Trinidad and Tobago. Right now, I invite you to go stateside, where we have Trini Color from the Breaks.
Put a hand on the fire and cleanse the wicked. Right now, all of them who does worship, greed and vanity must bow. Bring down the power. Unity is the banner, so come together. I say, and this love is for freedom, it growing stronger each day. Rejoice in a rhythm of celebration. Come on. Lift your voice with a feeling of satisfaction as one. And let we move with a purpose, all freedom lovers. Hold tight. Stepping out of the darkness with one direction inside. Yeah, yeah. Wow, that was awesome, sir. All the way from the Southland, they came to bring down the power. I am now going to bring on stage Sawa South Cultural Organization. Ladies and gentlemen, let's make some noise for Sawa South Cultural Organization.
Ibo, 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 Ibo.
Tamana,
Aye,
Tamana,
awo,
Tamana,
aye, damana, awo. Ibo, 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 aye, Ibo,
Tamana,
aye, damana, awo.
Hey. Trinidad and bet we are talent now. All you believe we are real talent here? Do you all believe we have a lot of talent here? That is what we're talking about is emancipation, time to free up. That was Sawa South Cultural Organization. Before I introduce the next band, I am calling Marjorie Julian.
Good afternoon and welcome back to TTT's live coverage of the Emancipation celebrations here at the Lidj, Yasu, Omowale Emancipation Village, being hosted by the Emancipation Support Committee. So you would have seen an electric performances by Trini Color out of Labre, and they were followed by the San Juan Cultural Organization. Now I'm joined by Mr. Roger Johnson, who is also an entertainer, and he's going to share with us some of his thoughts on the Emancipation celebration. So Mr. Johnson, good afternoon and thank you for joining us. I want you to start by telling me what emancipation means to you.
Emancipation means a day of a lifetime of struggle, and just today now to see how we are free from slaves and bondage.
And what are your thoughts on the celebration that was already gone?
My thoughts really is basically we are moving from one step to the next.
Are you satisfied though? There are conversations surrounding the fact some people are of the opinion that not enough is being done to commemorate the culture of Africans and to celebrate the presence of Africans here in Trinidad and Tobago. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think more could be done.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Johnson. Enjoy the rest of the celebrations. And that was Mr. Johnson here with me talking at the Lidj, Yasu, Omowale Emancipation Village. Now we take you backstage side where we have another group getting ready to go on stage.
Emancipation Day represents the indomitable will of the human spirit. To commemorate this day, we take a look back at some of our icons who embody this indomitable will. Kofi was a man of West African descent, captured in his native home and sold into slavery to work in the plantations of the Dutch colony of Berbice in present-day Guyana. He joined the great Berbice slave uprising that broke out in Guyana on February 1763 and quickly rose to be its first leader, leading a revolt of more than 2,500 slaves against the colony regime. Kofi led his followers to seize plantations along the Kanje River, and upon reaching the Berbice River, he began to call himself governor of the slaves. From this position, Kofi shook the foundation of Dutch power in Berbice. Dedicated to the proposition that all men are created free, Kofi planned to set up an independent state in Upper Berbice. When Cuffy's forces threatened to divide the colony, however, a counterattack from colony's interior changed the course of the revolt. Cuffy failed to regain the upper hand, and the revolt was crushed by enemy forces in October 1763. Today, Cuffy is considered a national hero in Guyana and the true symbol of triumph over subjugation and domination, and the personification of the spirit and tradition of resistance, perseverance, and overcoming. On this momentous date, those held captive throughout the British Empire in the Caribbean were freed at last from the bondage of chattel slavery. To commemorate the abolition of enslavement, Emancipation Day had been declared a national holiday by the government of Trinidad and Tobago in 1985. Trinidad and Tobago became the first country in the world to declare a national holiday to commemorate the abolition of slavery. As emancipation celebrations grew in scale and scope within recent times, many foreign visitors from across the African diaspora took notice. Emancipation Day is a representation of triumph over subjugation and domination, and thus celebrations of it have become a symbol of the spirit and tradition of resistance, perseverance, and overcoming.
This is TTT. History starts here.
Good afternoon and welcome back. I am Dion Batiste coming to you live at the Queen's Park Savannah, the Lidj, Yasu, Omowale Emancipation Village. And right now we have the Pelican Drummers getting ready to perform, so I invite you to join us on stage.
ay, ay. Oh, yo, yo, yo. Ibole, bole, bole. Ibole, bole, bole. Ibole, bole, bole. Ibole, bole, bole. Big gay woman go dance, girl. Big gay woman go dance. If we get one man go dance, girl. If we get one man go dance. We go dance as she want to dance. We go dance as she want to dance. Ibole, bole, bole. Ibole, bole, bole. Ibole, bole, bole. Ibole, bole, bole. We get one man go dance, girl. If we get one man go dance. If we get one man go dance, girl. If we get one man go dance. We go dance as she want to dance. We go dance as she want to dance. Ibole, bole, bole. Ibole, bole, bole. Ay, 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 ay. Oh, yo, yo, yo. Ay, 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 ay. Oh, yo, yo, yo. Ay, 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 ay. Oh, yo, yo, yo. Ibole, bole, bole. Ibole, bole, bole. Ibole, bole, bole. Well, there's no one know what Africa have. Well, there's no one know what Africa have. Tell me how you do in Africa. Tell me how you do in Africa. You tell me the jungle place is my home. When I reach my jungle, I used to roam. The only sun that I seem to roam. When I reach my jungle, I reach my home. Hello, hello, Africa.
How we doing, Africa?
Hello, hello, Africa.
How we doing, Africa?
Tell me how you do in Africa.
How we doing, Africa?
Tell me how you do in Africa. You tell me the jungle place is my home. When I reach my jungle, I reach my home. The only sun that touching the road. When I reach my jungle, I reach my home. Hello, hello, Africa have. Hello, hello, Africa have. Tell me how you do in Africa. Tell me how you do in Africa. You tell me the jungle place is my home. When I reach my jungle, I reach my home. The only sun that I seem to roam. When I reach my jungle, I used to roam. Hello, hello, Africa have.
And that was Pelican Avenue Drummers. Let us make
Good afternoon and welcome back. So you would have just gotten a performance from the Pelican Drummers here at the Queen's Park Savamo de Lidj over Saleh Emancipation Village. I'm joined by Miss beautiful Lisa Roberts, a Calypsonian. You look very beautiful. I want to start by telling me, do you come here every year?
Yes, I do.
And why is it so important for you to be part of the Emancipation celebrations every year?
Because it's something that I have learned from a very tender age, you know, to enjoy my roots. And I love to see my people express themselves. If one time around the year, you know, everybody come together and commemorate, you know, emancipation. It's something that I really love.
So you said that you were exposed to it as a child. Are you satisfied with the exposure that our youth in general get to African culture?
Not really, you know. I mean, what I think is that they're supposed to teach the youths and them at a very tender age, you know, from preschool there, about our history. You know, so when they reach a teenager or older, that they would be able to understand their history as a black individual, you know. Up to this day, I sang a song called Relax Yourself, right? This song entails you must be conscious of yourself. You don't need a relaxer as a black person. You don't have good and bad here out here. As black people, we have to learn to love ourselves. Not only by hair, by skin. We was born that way, you know.
Thank you so much, Ms. Roberts. And that was Lisa Roberts talking to us here at the Queen's Park Savannah, where we have another set of performers getting ready to go on stage, but we'll have more for you after the break.
a beautiful woman.
Who are we as a Caribbean people? Do you know? Featuring compelling short form and feature length documentaries, be viewing TTT Thursdays at 8 p.m. for Our Stories. Be entertained and educated as we learn about our identity and feature memories of the past in our journey to the future. Fact is stranger than fiction. See me on my TV Thursdays at 8 p.m. Our Stories, our experiences, our memories, our identity. Exclusively on TTT. Live for local. For local.
Excellent. That was Rio Claro Police Youth Club. Them girls could dance, eh? I ain't hear ya. Make some noise if you agree with me. Yes! The next cultural performance for this evening is Young Generation Music Band. And Young Generation Music Band came all the way from Faizabad. We have anybody from Faizabad here in the audience? What? Make some noise! All the way from the Southland. UE African Society, please stand by. UE African Society, please stand by.
Okay, so we just heard from the Young Generation Music Band who came all the way from Faizabad. Now I'm joined by Mr. Kevin Griffith, who is a member of the Pelican Drummers. So, Mr. Griffith, thanks for agreeing to speak with us. I want you to tell me, how long have you been performing with the Pelican Drummers?
Well, over 8 to 9 years, I've been performing with the Mova Pelican African Drummers.
And what has that experience been like? How did you get your start in drumming?
Well, I started with my parents being a dancer, and at the age of 5, we had a group called Chumakak. And from there, that was it. Never turned back. Still continue playing drums.
What does it mean to be African?
To me, to be an African is I being proud to be a black African man in the land of Trinidad and Tobago, where I can show the youths and them how to be proud of themselves as being black person, but not being white, but not being jealous or racial with anyone. But being an African descent was a blessing from God that blessed each and everyone who have been Africanish and who have been African for the rest of their life.
And you also mentioned that you played with a group out of Mova. Now, these are areas that are often regarded as hotspots. What are your thoughts on this? People tend to say that nothing good can come from these areas.
Plenty things come out from these areas. According to your own judgment, your own thinking, that if you say that you don't deserve to be in a place like Laventille, well, I'm sorry, because Laventille are the most talented sportsmen and the most talented cultures. But it's for you to come in Laventille, always have a stigma, but we care about ourselves in ways that people may think that we are not from Laventille, but we are from Laventille. But the way how we care about ourselves, that is the most thing that we can say to Laventille people, that the way you care about yourself, people will love, enjoy coming to Laventille.
And that was Mr. Kevin Griffith, who is a member of the Pelican Drummers. And now we invite you to go backstage while the performances continue here at the Queen's Park Savannah.
Faizabad got talent. I find the Faizabad people quiet. What is going on? Are they hungry, sleepy, or tired? Which one? Today's Emancipation, we're dealing with none of the above.
Welcome back. Now I'm joined by Mr. Kakra Kambon, who is the chairman of the Emancipation Support Committee. Happy Emancipation to you, sir.
Thank you for having me. And what did you ask? I didn't quite hear with the sound.
Okay, so we just start by telling me, what does emancipation mean to you? What does emancipation mean?
Oh, well, it means more than any other thing singly. Because what we are doing today is that we are remembering those of our ancestors who really endured the worst form of suffering that any group of human beings have ever been forced to endure. Despite that, they had the courage to fight, to lose battles, and continue to fight until we got emancipation from chattel slavery. And to me, that is the greatest thing in the world. And it has always been sad that for so long, we have not remembered them, because our education system has denied us that memory. And for us not to remember them, it is not a crime, because it is not something that we consciously do. It is just a lack of knowledge. The denial of the knowledge is the crime. And what this is doing is bringing us back to who we are, what we are. And it is not just the African. This is the most, and I always say this is the most significant positive turning point in all of human history, because chattel enslavement, along with the genocide of the indigenous peoples of this region, those are the worst crimes against humanity ever committed. So putting an end to those systems, and especially chattel slavery, that is a most significant turning point for humanity.
Based on what you've said so far, is it safe to conclude that you're an advocate for the inclusion of African history in the school curriculum from as early as primary school?
It is absolutely critical because education is not just about technical things, how you count, if you're able to read and write and all of that. Education is also to help shape your personality, help make us, a collective. And here it is, you can't live in a society that has been fed on myths about you. And you virtually absorb negative things about yourself in the environment. And if the education system is not a corrective, then it is helping to sink your self-esteem. So that for us to be equal with others, for us to have self-esteem, it is absolutely urgent that the education system teaches us about ourselves.
All right, and there you have it. We just heard from Mr. Kappa Campbell, chairman of the Emancipation Support Committee. Sorry, now we take you back to the stage, but the cultural performances continue. and welcome back. I am Dion Batista reporting on TTT from the Queen's Park Savannah. We just had a performance from a group from UWI, and now I'm joined by Mr. Kenson Laudat of Lidj. Mr. Laudat, good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon.
What does emancipation mean to you?
Emancipation means to me history, remembrance, taking back something that was given to us and elaborating on it in our form, in our way. It's a freedom of expression in a sense, because when you think about it, within everything that we have been through, this is our day. So we are free to do whatever we want to do with it. So that's why you see people dress up in their own ethnic wear, in their versions of it, and they express themselves. So it's just a moment of freedom.
And as a young man of African descent, why is it important for you to participate in the Emancipation Day celebrations?
It's important for myself and other young black men to continue celebrating this moment, because we need to remember who we are in order for us to know where we have to go.
Is this your first time performing at the Emancipation Village?
This is actually my third time. My first time with my performing company, but this is actually my third time.
And what do you love most about the Emancipation Day celebrations?
I think the parade. I like the parade the most. Performing on stage, you get, that little butterflies and whatnot, but performing alongside your fellow dance members and whatnot along the parade, that is a whole different love, because you're parading on the streets with your friends, you're throwing out choreography moves, and it's a celebration. You actually feel the presence of your past ancestors. That's just for me, at least I can say. Yeah.
And when you consider the atrocities that our ancestors would have endured, and you consider life as like this today, what is your hope, what is your dream for people of Afro-Trinbagonian descent?
My hope is to help in terms of using my art form as a platform to speak the truth, or to use my art form as a platform to help remember or help remind, or just use it as a statement so that we never forget. Sometimes we get so caught up in the other type of cultures that is not ours that we tend to forget who we are. So we can never be taken very seriously. And as a young black man, I think it's very important for us to remember who we are. It's important for us to remember what we stood for and what we can still stand for. And because of that, I think you can see the country was shaped differently. Because you're not going to run to the depression, or you're not going to run to the low self-esteem because you were taught that, or you remember that.
And final question as we prepare to wrap up. What do you think, or what recommendations can you make to increase African consciousness?
Of course, we have to find beauty.
To increase?
In much more of ourselves.
I think we should do our research. It's very important to do research and ask the elders. Don't be afraid. I know in this time right now, we feel that we are all grown and we don't want to rely on the heads that was here before us. But I think getting that guidance and that extra knowledge is something that you will not be able to find in history books. And I think with that, we will be all right.
Okay, Mr. Dowler, thank you so much for taking time to chat with us. Enjoy the rest of the celebration.
Education system, the plays part, one of the things that we are fighting for.
Okay, and now I'm joined by Miss Shania Brown. Did I get it wrong? Oh, Shania Brown. Thanks for the correction. Okay, so I want you to tell me what's your favorite part of the Emancipation celebration?
Well, I just got here, but I just love seeing everybody in their way and they're looking so nice and beautiful, and everybody chocolate and looking good. Yes, so that's what I really like seeing right now.
Are you participating in the celebrations, or are you here as a spectator?
No, I'm spectating. So this is my first time here after a few years. So it's really nice to come out and see a lot more people actually from the last time I was here, probably like 2-3 years ago. So it's nice.
Can you, as a young person of Afro-Trinbagonian descent, what recommendations can you make to increase Afro consciousness? What recommendations can you make to increase consciousness?
Oh, consciousness. I think it kind of begins with, probably like our parents and stuff, helping us understand more about us, our culture, the school education system, enforcing that history that we have. That I know history is very, very deep. And also helping us embrace ourselves, our skin. Because I know a lot of people, they get victimized, for having dark skin, me included. I know a lot of other dark skin, all of us, we endure that. So just learning to embrace our beauty as well as enriching up here.
So the government of Ghana has dubbed 2019 the year of the return, where they have launched this program where they are inviting members of the African diaspora to return to their roots. As a young person of African descent, is this something that you would consider taking advantage of?
I haven't really formulated quite a view about that yet, so I don't want to comment on it quite yet. So I'm still trying to read up and understand a little bit more about it first. Yeah.
Well, Shreya, thanks so much for talking with us. Enjoy the rest of the day.
One of them was to...
Okay, so now we take you backstage, right, where Chair of the Emancipation Support Committee, Mr. Kafra Kambon, is giving his remarks.
The reason for that is that Kwame Ture was born and grew up on Oxford Street, the eastern end of Oxford Street in Port of Spain, until his parents, who had migrated, sent for him and went to the United States. So he had the name Stokely Carmichael, and he's a man from our own country whom the whole world got to know, and to respect under the name Kwame Ture. Can any of you tell me who Oxford was? Anybody at all can tell me who Oxford was? It's the same thing. I asked the question, and I don't know the answer. I don't know who Oxford was. I know who Kwame Ture was, and I know Kwame Ture was one of us, and he fought for our freedom. So that's one of the issues now before the City Council, and we want all of you to stand up with us to ensure that that name Oxford Street is removed and we put Kwame Ture Street instead. The other thing, and it looks as though we have victory on these, because when the deputy mayor spoke, he said that the council had approved the erection of a monument at Yoruba Village Square. And I think all of you, because I suspect many people here have been part of this emancipation commemoration for a long period of time. The Yoruba Village Square is a small square at the eastern end of Port of Spain, just opposite the police station and a church that's there, that little square there. That was the heart. The reason it got that name is because a number of African people who in the post-emancipation period or in the period after the British had ended their slavery in these parts of the world, in order for the French and the Spanish not to compete with them economically, they started to capture enslaved Africans on the ships of those countries. Many of them were brought to Trinidad and Tobago, and a number of them settled in that East Port of Spain area, going all up the hills and even into Belmont. And that entire area at one time was known as Yoruba Village. All that remains to mark it is a square, a small square there that is called Yoruba Village Square. It had an old beaten up sign that fell apart, and some years ago we had that sign restored. This year we have a fantastic monument to put up there. It's already designed, that is going to be put up there. So next year, when you come for the emancipation, well, the launch of emancipation next year, by that time, you are going to see one of the most imposing statues in Port of Spain, marking the presence of our ancestors who were brought, some in chains and some in the post-slavery days, into the eastern side of Port of Spain. So that will be one way of permanently commemorating the presence of our ancestors in this country and their contribution to the rich culture of this society. The other issue that was raised, apart from the monument in the square and Oxford Street, is that in Trinidad and Tobago, the site at which the Emancipation Proclamation was read on August 1st, 1834, there's nothing to mark that. We pass by what we know as the Treasury Building, and we have no sense whatsoever of its historical significance. So that is the other consideration before the City Council now, that the Treasury Building will have a plaque. In fact, it will be a little more than a plaque with a sign of it, that anyone who passes there would know the significance of that part of the city. All of this is to ensure that our African presence is marked in the landscape of Trinidad and Tobago. The contribution that we have made to Trinidad and Tobago, it is most unfair that our history cannot be read, cannot be seen, cannot be recorded in our built environment. We could have a Columbus there, Christopher Columbus, who was a mass murderer, and we have nothing to mark the presence of our ancestors who fought for our liberation. So we got victory on 2 counts, because the Prime Minister made it clear that when it comes to the Yoruba Village Monument, he is for that. And when it comes to the historical landmark at the Treasury Building, he is for that. So we know there's a victory on 2 fronts. He did not mention Oxford Street, but we all have to remind him that Oxford Street has to become Kwame Ture Street. And we'll keep reminding them of that, and the City Council is deliberating it, and they must know that the people of Trinidad and Tobago really are acceptable to that change. So I just want to ask one question before I start. Are we all in favor of renaming Oxford Street Kwame Ture Street? Let me know. I don't know if I heard some people say no. So those who are saying yea, let us say it loud enough that the Prime Minister and the ministers of government can hear wherever they are. Are we all in favor of renaming Oxford Street Kwame Ture Street? Thank you very much. 3 victories on this Emancipation Day, something to celebrate. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the day and carry the message of emancipation back to your communities. Live with it and tell them, put it in the school books. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brother Kafra Kamban.
Okay, so welcome back, and this time around in Charlo, who is a student at St. Anthony's College, am I right? Is it your first time coming to the Emancipation Village? No. Come here every year? Is it a yearly outing?
Yeah.
Why is it important for you to be here?
Because I like how the emancipation does be, and I like how the emancipation has bring everybody together.
So apart from the collection of people of Afro-Trinidadian descent being present here and all the nice African way elaborate headdresses, what do you like about being here at the Emancipation Village?
Well, just the surroundings. And just like how everybody, no fighting like how it is in the country now. It's not like how it just be. It's everything that's peaceful.
So the Emancipation celebrations, basically it represents a break from the uprising crime that we've been experiencing lately. Okay. As a student, would you like to see more African history included in the curriculum?
Yeah.
Might I ask why?
Well, because training schools need to know where they come from and to know their ancestors.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shallow. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon. And now I have another handsome young man joining me. Hello, good afternoon. How are you?
Afternoon. I'm good.
Is this your first time coming to the Emancipation Village?
No, this is actually my third time.
And what do you like most about it?
I like the festivities, the food, and to see that other people dressed in fancy African clothing, which is kind of interesting because it is a mix of different people walking together and that the mix of colors. It looks nice.
Nice. Okay, so I'm seeing here that your name is Isaiah. Okay, where are you from, Isaiah? What part of Trinidad?
I'm from Faisabad.
You traveled from south as well, Santa Flora. Are you familiar with the area?
Yes. Yes.
So what does emancipation mean to you, Isaiah?
Emancipation, the word emancipation means freedom, right? So what it means to me is that it means that our ancestors got a chance to be free, not to be pushed around or for anyone to tell them what to do. They can do what they want, to do what they please, and to have fun and to enjoy themselves.
Thank you so much, Isaiah. Now I invite you to return to the stage where we have another group getting set to continue the cultural presentations.
Good day, Trinidad and Tobago. I bring you good news from South Africa. Just before I came to Trinidad, some of the brothers and sisters who I know who are from Trinidad said to me, if you're performing on Emancipation Day, please say hello to our people. So I bring you the good news. So I'm going to share with you a song called Never Again, which is based on all those people who had given their lives for the new South Africa that we see today. People who had given up their lives for the struggles of the people in South Africa. In June 1976, we saw the student uprisings in South Africa trying to fight against the government. And that was a very powerful history in South Africa where it all started. They forced the Afrikaans language into black schools. Students took the streets, and we saw many students being killed, brutally killed by the police. Those were in the bad days of apartheid, but that was also the beginning of a new South Africa that we see. And the song that I'm singing now and playing to you is called Never Again, meaning that we are now a free people and we are free from injustices. And it goes like this. My boo, yeah. My boo, yeah. My boo, yeah. Africa. Na 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 ho. Na 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 na, whoa, 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 whoa. My boo, yeah. My boo, yeah. Africa. Hey, yeah, yeah, mama, way. 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 Kukule tuna lady Zimbabwe Soweto. Kukule tuna lady Zimbabwe Soweto. Hey yeah yeah mama, 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 hey yeah yeah mama way. Hey yeah yeah mama, 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 hey yeah yeah mama way. We say no to injustice. We say no to corruption. We say no to racial discrimination. We say no to injustice. We say no, we say no, we say never again. We say never again. My boo, yeah. My boo, yeah. Kukule tuna lady Zimbabwe Soweto. Kukule tuna lady Zimbabwe Soweto. Hey yeah yeah mama, 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 hey yeah yeah mama way. Ne 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 ne. Ne 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 ne. Welcome to the future. Let us take a journey into the mystical past, where you shall find your future. A future of love, peace, and understanding, where we will give our love and respects to the unborn babies of tomorrow. I'm talking about the Nelson Mandelas of the world, the Dalai Lama, Mahatma Gandhi, Maya Angelou, Quincy Jones, Malcolm X, Credo Motwa, Mary of the Maroons. You see, they stand for what you and I could be, stretching before me like a galaxy of stars into entities of the unknown. For you will never know where you're going to unless you know where you're coming from. And this is your future. You are now a child of a destiny. And I would love to welcome you to your own 21st century with love, peace, tranquility, understanding, and mystical experiences. But I also believe one day when I die, I shall become a dream. I'd love to become your dream. A dream of the past, the present, and the future. Welcome to your own 21st century. My boo, yeah. My boo, yeah. Africa. Thank you, Trinidad. Thank you so very much. Thank you.
So now we just heard from Pops on stage, a master musician from Africa, and now I'm joined by three beauties, Kasana, Zone, and Chrissy. Now I understand that Kasana and Zone are from New York, and Chrissy, you're from Trinidad. Right, so I want you to tell me, what does emancipation mean to you?
It means Africa has freedom and they get to do what they want.
It means celebrating the freedom of African slaves.
Emancipation means having freedom and coming together to celebrate a good day on August 1st today with everyone, my family and friends.
Fantastic. Kasana and Zone, I understand you guys from New York. Is this your first time celebrating emancipation here in Trinidad?
Well, it's not our first time because we've been here a lot, but we haven't been like in the march. We have been we drive here, but we don't be in the march. So this is our first time being in the march.
And what was the experience like being part of the procession this morning?
It was fun. It was different than from in New York, and I guess I liked it.
Thank you so much, ladies. And now we head back to the stage where Brother Valentino is about to perform.
So Mr. DJ and the chap.
One day soon Babylon will fall. One day soon Babylon will fall.
Today in the world Babylon in trouble. There be a total destruction to the concrete jungle. I shall stay among Zion and listen to the rumble when Babylon start to crumble. Oh Jaja, oh Jaja, oh Jaja, oh Jaja. One day soon Babylon will fall. Jaja say, soon one day Babylon I will pay. One day soon Babylon will fall. It might be today, it might be tomorrow, just like Sodom and Gomorrah. Too much corruption, too much fornication. Take one and I give to my inspiration. Oh Jaja, oh Jaja, oh Jaja, oh Jaja. One day soon Babylon will fall. Jaja say, soon one day Babylon I go pay. One day soon Babylon will fall. I see the falling of the Babylon Empire. I see the rising of the Lion of Judah. Meanwhile I got to get me the water. I got to be clean for my master. Got to be clean for my master. Oh Jaja, oh Jaja, oh Jaja, oh Jaja. One day soon Babylon will fall. Jaja say, soon one day Babylon I will pay. One day soon Babylon will fall. cannot follow this denomination with its scientific forces and false education. Mercy shall be shown on Mount Zion, but Babylon shall be crushed by the claws of the lion. Oh Jaja, oh Jaja, oh Jaja, oh Jaja. One day soon Babylon will fall. Jaja said, soon one day Babylon I go pay. One day soon Babylon will fall. 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 So you belong to the ivory tower. I say this ivory tower, tower. The material world makes you feel you're superior. So then you look down this corner at your brother, but your flying space is getting very narrow. So you won't be able to resist the arrow. Birds that fly high, none of them ever touch the sky. Birds that fly high, got to fly down to die. So flap your wings and fly, you could never touch the sky. And don't care how high you fly, you got to fly down to die. Birds that fly high, got to fly down to die. Politics and politicians is the problem. Power and corruption stands behind them. They created dirty middle class society, living that so-called and control all the money. If they could have paid their way, they'd live forever. But we all got to go 6 feet under. Birds that fly high, none of them ever touch the sky. Birds that fly high, got to fly down to die. So flap your wings and fly, you could never touch the sky. And don't care how high you fly, you gotta fly down to die. Birds that fly high, gotta fly down to die. You remind me a lot of the vultures flying in your private jets and helicopters. At the expense of the poor, you built your castle. After using us, you're giving us the hustle. You feel you are so protected up in orbit. You don't know you're just another flying
target. Birds that fly high, none of them ever touch just sky. Birds that fly high, got to fly back down to die. So flap your wings and fly, you could never touch just sky. And don't care how high you fly, you got to fly back down to die. Tell them, birds that fly high, got to fly back down to die. Mr. Big Man, hear the words of this small man. You only creating your own damn nation. You make vanity and luxury your glory. But behind that stands a very sad, sad story. What does it profit the man who owns the whole world and yet suffered the loss of his own soul? Birds that fly high, none of them ever touch a just sky. Birds that fly high, gotta fly down to die. So flap your wings and fly, you could never touch the sky. And don't care how high you fly, you gotta fly down to die. Birds that fly high, gotta fly down to die. Thank you, thank you. Love you all. You know I man love you all. If it wasn't for the love of you people, I would not have been standing on this stage. So at least you could give a round of applause for the love. Yeah man, it's love, you know. Yeah. True love too. So, we got rid of the tyrant, you know, so we will explain it in song. You see, I got some destiny, and one is from quite South Africa. The place the song liberated. What we want to Rhodesia, what we want to South Africa. You're pushing my back against the wall, calling the skies a cannibal. I man decide to put on his boots and march to defend his roots. Hey, calling them Zulu, calling them Zulu, shouting Ashanti, calling what you see. In South Africa and Rhodesia, blood will run like water. Prepare my brother, for the bloody river. Just remember, brother, blood thicker than water. Stay up Zimbabwe, stay up Zimbabwe, stay up Zimbabwe, stay up Zimbabwe. No, 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 Hola mama, hosa. Zulu. Hola mama. I know this fight won't be so easy, but you got to get rid of the enemy. If you don't get rid of the enemy shall get rid of you. My people, you see, we have no choice, so Africans hear my voice. Hey! Say, calling them Zulu, calling them Juju. Oh yeah, yeah. Shouting Ashanti. Oh yeah, yeah. Calling Matusi. In South Africa and Rhodesia. Let go run like water. Oh yeah, yeah. Prepare my brother. Oh yeah, yeah. All the bloody river. Oh yeah, yeah. Remember brother. Oh yeah, yeah. Brother water. Oh yeah, yeah. Stay up Zimbabwe. Stay up Zimbabwe. Stay up Zimbabwe. Stay up Zimbabwe. Hola. Chicha mama, watch. I shall eat. Watch. I heard you talk in America, supporting like South Africa. But if we have to walk through, my people shall review. Some the drums and some of the witch doctors to deal with them like characters. Hey, calling them Zulu. Oh yeah, yeah. Calling them Juju. Oh yeah, yeah. Talking Ashmani. Oh yeah, yeah. Calling Watusi. Oh yeah, yeah. And Rhodesia. Oh yeah, yeah. But go run like water. Oh yeah, yeah. Prepare my brother. Oh yeah, yeah. All the bloody river. Oh yeah, yeah. Let's remember brother. Oh yeah, yeah. Thicker than water. Oh yeah, yeah. Stay up Zimbabwe. 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 Oh yeah. To Steve Biko and the children who died in Soweto. To the freedom fighters I declare, Africans affair is my affair. Ian Smith and Buster Hakobo, the revolution says so. Hey, calling them Zulu, calling them Juju, shouting Ashanti, calling Watusi, South Africa and Rhodesia. Run like water. Prepare my brother. All to the bloody river. Remember brother. Thicker than water. Amanda. Stay up Zimbabwe. Amanda. Stay up Zimbabwe. Stay up Zimbabwe. That's our old Rodney, Selo Harmonize. Then for Panorama, the village of our old Rodney and that's this time. But the village guys and them of the family. Then they will be like no more. The village of our
Thank you, Brother Valentino. Thank you, Pops Muhammad. Wasn't that awesome? Wasn't that awesome? That is what we're talking about, is emancipation. Today we're supposed to be how?
And that was an electric performance by Brother Valentino, who was later joined by Pops, a massive musician from Africa, on stage here at the Queen's Park Savannah. Now I'm joined by Mr. Amadou Masali, hope I pronounced that correctly, who's from Sierra Leone, and Mr. Tom Daggett, a scientist from Guyana. Now, gentlemen, I want you to tell me your thoughts on everything that's transpiring here this afternoon.
Well, for me, like I've been saying to him, is that when it comes to seeing Africanness in the Caribbean, this is my 4th Emancipation. 4 years in a row I've been coming here, and when I see this, I don't see it anywhere in the Caribbean. So it's really satisfying for me as an African to come here and see what you guys do in Trinidad and Tobago around Emancipation.
So you said this is your 4th year. Why do you keep coming back?
Oh, I'm on a mission. Because I know people from my country were enslaved and brought here to Trinidad and Tobago. Not a whole lot of them, about 900 or so over the years. But after slavery, after emancipation, over 3,000 people left my country to come to Trinidad and Tobago as indentured servants. It was Trinidad then. It wasn't Tobago and Trinidad. It was just Trinidad then. They came as indentured servants. So there's a Sierra Leone road in Diego Martin. I found that out when I came here for the first time for Carnival. I came here for Carnival when I started seeing my Sierra Leonean roots all over the place. And I'm looking for those guys who have Sierra Leonean ancestry, whether it is through the indentured servants or through the enslaved Africans that were brought here from my country. And I'm not just doing it here. I have to go to Guyana. I've been to Jamaica. I'm going all over the Caribbean looking for traces of my people because I want to reconnect with them. And that's why I keep coming back to Trinidad and Tobago.
Were you part of the procession this morning?
Oh, yes, I was part of the procession.
And what was that experience like for you?
What
was that experience like? What do you think about it?
It's the first time I'm here for that experience. And I tell you, I was also very pleased about it. I saw the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. I saw the Bobe Shanties. And I am a Nyabingi. I'm with the House of Nyabingi. And therefore, I was very happy to see those cultural organizations as part of the celebration here, together with Ministry of Works and whatnot, because I'm a scientist and so to see that the professionals also take part in this procession, I'm very happy.
Are the celebrations here similar or different to what goes on in Guyana?
It is much bigger than what is happening in Guyana, okay? In fact, Guyana dwarfs here, okay? It dwarfs compared with Trinidad and Tobago. In fact, I was making that comment to friends throughout the procession. I walked from the beginning, from the bank of, from the Central Bank, that's where it started. This is the first time I'm here. So it started at Central Bank here. Oh, I walked with the procession and really did enjoy it.
Okay. And what did you like most? What was the spirit like? What was the energy like?
Oh, for me, the energy, because I also danced, and to see all the men and women in that mood and expressing themselves in such a manner was, for example, very revealing to me. And in fact, I think what I'll do, I'll help to copy some of this for Guyana next year, or incorporate some of what I've seen into the Guyana Festival. I hope so. And in fact, because I travel to Africa quite a lot, okay, particularly in Namibia, where I've gone down there, and I have 2 maize mills there, okay, to do some. The boys, there's a Rastafari who invited me to Namibia. Namibia have a lot of Rastas. A lot of Rastas.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Dalgety. Now we get back to the stage where Mr. Kafra Kamboan has the mic again. I think an award is being administered or being distributed. So now we take you back to the stage.
Who is being with us, who has been a real contributor to the success of this commemoration, is this brother next to me here. His name is Everett Seaton. And when you sit back comfortably in your seats and you hear the music, or you can hear the voices, you can hear the rhythms of the drummers, that sound for all these years has been provided by Mr. Everett Seaton. And for that, we want to honor him. And his company is called Cell Construction Limited. So when you want to get some good sound, you can call on Cell Construction Limited. Mr. Seaton, as one who has known you now for decades, quite apart from the honor from the organization, quite apart from the honor from the people gathered here who have applauded this dedication to you, I want to express my personal appreciation and that of the Emancipation Support Committee for such dedicated service over decades. Thank you, brother. All right. Okay. It's the Spirit of Emancipation Award. You got it? All right.
Okay. Thank you very much, my brother Kanbon. You know, if you observe me carefully, you will recognize that I have on my work uniform. And I do not have on the African attire. You know why? Because being an African, it starts from your brain. It starts from here, in your mind. So I just want to thank my brother, Mr. Kanbon, Brother Kanbon. After we met some years ago, and I came forward and I said I want to make a contribution. And he made that possible, and today is history. So I want to thank you all for your support, and I hope that someday you will be also receiving this award, making your own personal contribution. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, my brother. We have one more award to present this afternoon, and I hope that many of the people here would recognize the name when I call it. She has been a great educator in this country. I can't say for years, for decades. She is now well advanced in age. She has given us tremendous support over the years as a committee, as well as she has contributed as an educator to many of our people, not just children, but in all age groups. And she has been a part of designing courses for education. And the person I speak about is Dr. Yvonne Bob Smith, and this year we will be presenting to her. Unfortunately, she's not with us today. She's normally with us somewhere in the background there, but she's not here today. So we have to call Dr. Pearl N2 Springer to receive the award on behalf of Dr. Yvonne Bob Smith. So may I call my sister, Dr. Springer. And she likes to talk, so she bumped to say something.
Just still just N2. I don't know where my brother going with this doctor thing all the time. But on behalf of Yvonne, I am very pleased to receive this. She's a worker, a stalwart, and as my brother says, a supporter of the organization for many years. So thank you on her behalf to the Emancipation Support Committee. God bless.
Thank you. Thank you, Sister N2. She a woman to give her, she get a big title, and I like to give people their titles. So brothers and sisters, this is the award part of it, I'll hand you back over to your master or mistress of ceremonies to continue the program. And I see we have some artists lined up on stage, so you have a long way to go still, and I'm sure you have the energy that your ancestors did, and many of you are going to be here until the flambeau parade leaves later this evening. I hand you over.
Brother Cambon, don't go anywhere. I have Mr. Sidney. Let's support Mr. Sidney Wilford. Let's support him by giving him a round of applause, please.
Yes, I want you to start again by telling me. Hello and welcome back. So we just concluded the award distribution ceremony, which was controlled by Mr. Kafra Kamban, the chairperson of the Emancipation Support Committee. And now I'm joined by some representatives of the Sabian United community here in Trinidad and Tobago. Good afternoon and welcome, gentlemen. I want you to start by telling us exactly who you are and what you represent.
I represent the United Sabian Nation, which started in 1962 by our teacher and guide, the founder, Dr. Malachi Ziok. From that time to now, we have graduated. We have made many changes because we study all the comparative religions, and we have evolved into being what we call Musbatu or Sabians today, where our religion is really ontology. We study natural nature. So we are not confined to any form of concept of religion or religious identity today.
And how big is the United Sabian community here in Trinidad and Tobago?
We are about like 2,000 and going right now.
So today we're celebrating Emancipation Day. But a lot of people complain that we are still mentally enslaved. Do you agree with this? And if so, how do you recommend that we break away these mental chains?
A people without a culture, without a language, and without land are still slaves. Because for the past 100 years and more, we have been ruled by people, we have been colonized by these oppressors, and these people had caused us to follow their concept of culture and religion. So emancipation should be a liberation of minds, mental liberation, which right now we are struggling to accomplish because we are so divided as a people. Because there are a lot of people today in Trinidad who would not consider themselves as Africans. I listen to some people outside there talking and they say, you're Israelites and others, but we are Africans in originality. Even though Africa went through different names and cultures here in the Caribbean and Trinidad, we are mentally still in slavery. So we need to have a mind link with everybody, where we can afford to come on one page that we can sit and reason together to be able to break these chains.
What are some of the recommendations, or what steps do you think we can take to help to increase African consciousness?
You know, back in 1970, Dr. Eric Williams introduced a culture that he called Best Village. And in that, we had a lot of people coming from foreign African countries and coming and teaching and assimilating with the people here to introduce them to our own African culture. But it seems as though over the years, this thing has been dissipated, you know? And it comes just like how Emancipation should be something that we should celebrate at least once every month. We should be able to come together as a people and recognize ourselves as one people and our culture. But that is not happening. Once a year is not going to do it.
And finally, as we prepare to wrap up, there have been mixed statements by the Prime Minister who said that Afro-Trinbagonians aren't where we are supposed to be. We are underperforming. Do you agree with this statement?
I do.
Can you elaborate why?
I do. Because should we be given the privilege or the opportunity of exposure, we would be able to do so and claim back what is originally ours as a people. Because we are divided mentally. We don't have the resources to elevate ourselves as a people. That is because of the division that we have. So if we could have a communal organization where you can come together as a people, with the different cultures coming together, we could solve a lot of these problems.
And finally, to be born into United Sabian, or can one join?
No. All African-oriented, all African people are indigenous to this culture. We are one people, but again, we are separated or divided by other influences within us. So you don't have to be born in this. You could walk off the street and be introduced to the culture and appreciate what it is and be part of it.
Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed this proceedings. And there you have it, guys. We just heard from representatives of United Sabian, and now invite you to go backstage side where I hear drumming. Savannah, where Emancipation Day celebrations continue, and I'm just a musician straight from the motherland, Africa. Pops, good afternoon. Happy Emancipation and welcome.
Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for welcoming me.
What are your thoughts on the celebration so far today?
It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. This is my first time in Trinidad, and I've been following this every year, you know, just watching on YouTube videos until Mr. Campbell invited me. You know, I still can't believe that I'm here, and it's absolutely amazing. It's like back home. I look at the people. I could be anywhere in South Africa. I look at the stage. Everything is. I don't have to go back home. That's how I feel about it today. I feel absolutely great, and I think it's a very important day for Trinidad. And I hope that this Emancipation Day can spread throughout the world, so people can remember their roots, the way Trinidad and Tobago is remembering their roots. I wish more people could watch this and come to Trinidad and experience what it feels like to have this whole community of people and musicians from all walks of life coming together and enjoying this amazing historical day, I'd say. And I think for me, it's an honor to be here, to experience it. After having watched it over YouTube so many years, I still can't believe that I'm here. I'm kicking myself.
Well, it's definitely a pleasure to have you here. You're enjoying your stay. But what has been the highlight of your visit to Trinidad thus far?
I think thus far, today, has been my highlights, because I've been waiting for this day since I arrived last week, Sunday morning. I've been waiting for this day. It finally arrived. I experienced it. It's more than what I expected. It's just absolutely amazing. This is something I won't forget in a long time.
Great. Well, thank you so much. This is the last to Trinidad. We're hosting you yet again.
That's one of my missions I'd like to do. I see so many amazing talents on stage here, and I'm thinking, how can I find ways of getting funding to bring the people?
And there you have it. That was Pops, master musician straight out of Africa. And we thank you so much, Pops. I hope you all are enjoying the festivities here at the Queen's Park Savannah. I am Dion Batiste. Good afternoon.
To Rhodesia, go beyond to South Africa. You're pushing my back against the wall, I'm calling the tribes of cannibal. I man decide to put on his